Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful that you guys are watching, subscribing and commenting on my channel. I really appreciate the support. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about the seesaw that an INFJ is always on between being humble and being the kind of person who says, oh no, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I don't matter, kind of thing, to going to the other extreme where we think, oh my god, I am the best, I am a reincarnation of God, I am here to take care and to lead, I'm the Messiah, I'm here to lead humanity out of darkness, right? And I see this oscillation between the two extremes. Now these are obviously extremes, right? And we don't kind of seesaw between these extremes all the time. We kind of maybe go back and forth between a little bit less so of this humbleness versus pridefulness. But we do go back and forth between this quite often, right? And as I said, we don't go all the way to the extremes all the time. Sometimes we do, but not all the time. But we do go into phases and ebbs and flows where we are in the valley and we think, we're nothing, we're nobody, we should just kill ourselves, we should just commit suicide. What's the point of us even being alive? What am I doing on this planet? How am I contributing? What am I doing here? Why am I taking up oxygen in space when I don't even contribute anything positive or anything meaningful to this planet? What the hell is the point of all this, right? And so we go into those valleys of depression and the black hole, the spiral of madness where we think we're nothing and we should not even be allowed to live anymore, right? And then we oscillate back. We might do something to take care of ourselves, or we might read something motivational, or we might get a message from someone saying that we really helped them. And this happens to me a lot with my videos, is that I'll be like, oh my god, what am I doing in my life? Why am I even bothering? What's the point of doing these videos? Now, these are just phases. I will keep on doing these videos as much as possible. I love them and gives me a lot of joy. But some moments I do have those moments, obviously, where I'm like, oh my god, why am I wasting my time with this? Does it really matter? Does it even matter? Like, is it even helping anyone? And then as soon as that happens, I'll get a message from someone saying, oh my god, I really loved your videos, really helped me, got me out of a dark space, etc., etc. And I'll read it and I'll be like, all right, I get it, universe. I see what you're trying to sell me. It's okay. I'm not going to quit. I have to keep on going because it matters. What I'm doing is mattering. I don't think that's a real word. Anyways, you wouldn't know I'm a writer depending on all the random words that I make up. Or maybe that's what writers do. And so we obviously go through those valleys of madness, right, of the spiral of depression. But we also kind of climb back out again. And, as I said, something happens that pushes us out of the valley. And we see a little bit of the light. And we're like, oh, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And we go out, back up again. And we go up to the peak. Not all the way up to the peak because, it's not possible for us to go all the way up to the peak unless we're really insane and we think so much of ourselves. But we're able to go a little bit close to the peak where we think to ourselves, okay, cool, no, I'm actually a really awesome person. I'm great. I don't even know why my name is not on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I mean, come on, like I am awesome. I really should be recognized more. I've been doing such amazing work. I am the best person on this planet. I am one of those people who's going to change the future of the world. I'm the one who's going to make this world a better place. Because of me, this world is a better place, etc. Right? We go into that madness of pride where we think, wow, I'm an INFJ and I'm just the best thing on the planet since I'm actually better than sliced bread, right? I'm not the best thing since sliced bread. I'm better than it, right? I'm better than anything else on the planet. I'm better than sliced bread. Anyways, so we do that. We go through these maddening cycles, these oscillations of humbleness and pridefulness. And the reason why I despise these oscillations is because it basically keeps me from balance, right? Now, of course, this is necessary. It's necessary for us to reach balance. The oscillations are what kind of eventually get us to balance, because balance is just not that you just stay in a certain mode for the rest of your life. It's that you go up and down, but eventually, like, all those ups and downs kind of get a little bit less in their amplitude, right? So maybe before you're going up and down like mad, you're going into the pridefulness stage like crazy, into the really high peak. And then you go into depression like mad, like where you're like, I can't even move out of bed today because I'm so useless, right? And so the amplitudes are really high in those oscillations. But eventually, as time goes on and you learn more about yourself and you learn about the world that you live in and you learn about your contributions to the world, you learn what your life purpose is, what you're here to do, how you're here to contribute to the world, you realize, okay, I am not as great as I expected myself to be, or I believed myself to be, but I'm not as terrible as I believe myself to be either. I don't need to worry about the oxygen I'm taking up, or the space I'm taking up, or the food that I'm taking, not taking away from someone else's mouth, but eating, because it's okay. I'm allowed to be here. I'm worthy enough to be occupying space on this planet because I do contribute in a certain manner, right? And eventually those amplitudes, those oscillations are going to become less amplitude-y. Now again, not a word, but they're going to become less peaky and valley. Oh boy, Shikha. This video is filled with random words. I apologize in advance. And so the amplitudes become less so, right? And so eventually the amplitudes are not as high or away from balance. Your balance is here and your amplitudes maybe go a little bit high and a little bit low, a little bit high. Not as high and low as before, but a little bit high and low, right? And you're able to maintain your balance as much as possible. Now, you're not going to stay at balance, as I said, for eternity, because it's not possible for human beings. Something will happen that will trigger us and we'll be like, oh my God, I'm a horrible human being. And then something else will happen. We're like, oh yeah, no, I'm not that bad. I'm a good person. I need to be alive. So there's a purpose for me. There's a reason I'm here. This world, this universe is beautifully designed. And there's a reason why the universe brought me here and put me here in this spot right now in this century so I can do something with my life, right? And so we'll go through these amplitudes, these maddening oscillations. As I said, when I was younger, obviously in my teens and my 20s, I went through these amplitudes like crazy. And even in the same day, even in the same 24 hours sometimes, I would go through these amplitudes several times, right? So I'd wake up all happy and like, oh great, it's gonna be a good day, I'm gonna get lots of work done, I'm awesome, I'm gonna change the world, etc. And then something would happen, my mom would say something to me, or I would hear something on the TV about how the world is dying or something like that. And I'd be like, oh my God, I am such a waste of space. I'm not even doing anything to protect the world. There are species dying all over the place, and I'm still using plastic, and I'm still eating food. And at that point, I used to eat meat, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just, So I would go into that spiral of depression again. And then something would happen, and I'd go. And several times in just one day, I would go through these amplitudes. Can you imagine how crazy that is? Just thinking about that now makes me want to cry, because I want to cry for that person that I was, because it's so tiring, it's so mentally, spiritually, physically exhausting to go through these crazy amplitudes, right? Because while you're going through these amplitudes, guys, all of you, my beautiful INFJs, while you're going through all these amplitudes, what are you doing? You're sitting in depression and not doing your work. Basically, you're wasting your time, right? And so that actually amplifies the valleys. It makes it worse, because instead of actually doing anything with your time here on the planet, your limited time on the planet, and that you're here to do something. Your life purpose is maybe not clear, but you are absolutely here to do something specific, right? Your unique DNA, your unique life experiences have brought you here to do something specific, to contribute to the world. You don't know maybe what that is yet, but that's one of the paths you have to take to figure that out. But when we are spending our times in these depressions or in these spirals of madness or in these amplitudes, what we're doing is we're spending all of our time in our head, and we're spending all our time in overthinking, overanalyzing, and criticizing, negating ourselves, telling ourselves we don't matter, telling ourselves we are useless, telling ourselves we're pieces of garbage, telling ourselves we're unworthy, etc., etc. You know all the words you've used for yourself. I've used these words for myself as well. And so instead of doing our work, which is what we're here to do, as I said, our time is limited. We have a limited amount of time. You might be dead tomorrow, right? And so you have only today to do your work that you need to get done. Your work that you're here to do, not the work like Excel spreadsheets or something like that, although that might be your purpose. But whatever your life purpose is, you're here to do something with relation to your purpose. Every soul, every spirit is here on this planet for that unique purpose of theirs. No one else might have the same purpose as you. And so you're here to do something specific, and you're supposed to be doing that rather than spending your time in these maddening amplitude oscillations, right? So instead of being in these oscillations, what I implore you guys to do, and this is what I do now as well, when I go into these depressions or whenever I go into these amplitude or into these oscillations, even now, as I said, I still go into them. my main strategy to get out of them instantaneously, and this happens almost instantaneously, as soon as I realize that I'm going into this maddening oscillation, especially the depression really kills me, because I think to myself, I'm useless, blah, 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 and I really waste a lot of time in it, right? The pridefulness, it's okay, maybe I'll get some work done there because I'm like, I'm awesome, I'm gonna get lots of work done. But in depression, I get nothing done, right? I'm being humble, but I'm being too humble, and I'm being so humble that I'm like, I shouldn't even exist anymore, kind of thing. And so that's a big waste of my time, because I want to spend all my time doing my work. Now I realize the main way, the easiest way for me to get out of that maddening depression is to do something, to take some action, right? So instead of sitting there, under the covers, cursing yourself or berating yourself or calling yourself names, really easy to do that. I've done that many times in the past. Instead of doing that, what I do is that, okay, cool. I'll talk to myself as all of us do, and I'll be like, cool, boom, that's great. All right, good. So you're going into that depression state. That's a good thing that you know that. What we need to do now is we need to do something. And so instantaneously, as soon as I realize I'm going into that maddening cycle, I will pull myself back and I'll try to take some action. It doesn't need to be something major. It doesn't need to be something awesome. It doesn't need to be something miraculous. But I'll just take some action. I'll reply to an email that someone sent me about my videos, or I'll reply to a comment, or I'll do a video, or I will go for a walk. I change my modality. I change my physiology. I move away from being in that depressive state and doing something else. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do this video. A little bit too late. I'm talking about this at 12 minutes, but that's okay. The main reason I wanted to do this video is to tell you guys to do the same. Change your physiology. As soon as you start getting into that state where especially if you spend way too much time in it and you're wasting your time, get yourself out of it by moving and changing your physiology. So do something to change your physiology. Take some action to change your physiology, change your mindset, change your psychology. Right? Physiology and psychology are extremely related. So if you start moving or you start doing something, your psychology will change as well. Your mental state will change as well, right? And so as I said, take some action. Do anything. It doesn't matter. Wash the dishes, or clean the floor, or call a friend. Do anything that will get you out of that mental state that you're in. Because as soon as you get too deep into that mental state, you're gone. And you're going to spend hours and hours or days or even weeks in that state. And you don't want to do that. You want to cut it off before it gets too deep, before you get too deep. You want to pull yourself out of it. And that's one of the things, even though my amplitudes, as I said, are not as deep or not as high, I still don't want to spend any time in that madness. I don't want to waste my time with that. It's such a waste of time, because instead of doing my work, what am I doing? I'm spending time in my head cursing myself or telling myself that I'm useless or calling myself names. I don't want to be spending my time doing that. I've done that enough in my life, right? I don't want to do that anymore. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope I was able to explain myself to you guys, even though I use a lot of random quirky words. If you guys have any questions at all about this topic or any other topic at all, please let me know by commenting below or by emailing me. All my contact information is in the description below. Again, thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.